Thank you for coming along this morning. I'm sorry your daughter couldn't be with us today. We're just going to run through the pupil passports and how they've changed slightly, and I'll just show you exactly how we're reporting on what your child's achieved this term. This format here, you'll notice, looks slightly different, and what we've wanted to show you is exactly where your child is at in terms of their learning. So you'll notice this green ring here tells you that your child in writing is working at the age expected. If you look at their spelling, punctuation and grammar as well, they're also working at the expected level for their age group. When we look up to science, this blue ring here means that they're working at greater depth for their child's age. So actually, Annabelle's a really good scientist, and that shows clearly in this diagram. Foundation subjects too, she's working at age expected. And when we look at her maths, she's also working at age expected. When we talk about reading, if you look on this ring here, she's sitting there, which just means that she's working towards the age expected. And in a moment, we'll look at those key learning activities that she could do to support that. This section here with the black, this talks about our learning behaviours. And you know, at Hanwell, we're really keen for our children to understand their learning behaviours. Her behaviour for learning is exemplary. She's an excellent addition to our class. Her attitude to learning, sometimes when we are taking part in class discussion, I'd like her to be a little bit braver. That's why she's working at her age expected. Attendance, she's always here on time and keen and ready to learn, so that's fantastic. And of course, that contributes to the progress that she's making. Have you got any questions so far about the passports and how they've changed?
No, looks good.
Okay, what are your thoughts about how Annabelle's getting on so far in school?
She seems to be really enjoying school this year. She's really motivated. She's much keener to do her homework and just, much better than previous years.
Fantastic. And that's actually linking into the behaviour there. That's exactly what we see in class, which is fantastic. Okay, when we talk about maths, you'll notice where it's progress, there's a green tick. Mm-hmm. That green tick tells us that your child is making good progress in maths. Yeah. She's shown excellent place value knowledge, which has been one of our key concepts this term. As always, we're looking for our children to move forward, so even better if we'd like Annabelle to have greater accuracy rounding to 10, 100 and 1,000.
Okay.
To help you know what your child's learning, on the back you'll notice that we've got the key learning objectives for maths, and I'm just going to highlight the particular area that I'd like you to work with, Annabelle, if you can. So, for instance, when we talk about rounding, it could be, for example, asking her to estimate how much money you've got in your purse, which is always a good thing children love doing, or roughly how much the shopping has cost, rounded to the nearest £10. Yeah. Let's look at her literacy now. In writing, she's worked really hard on varying her sentence length, and you'll see that she's made good progress in literacy. Again, editing for punctuation is an area that would really help Annabelle move on the next steps with her learning. So let's just have a look and see what that looks like on the back. So again, these are our literacy key learning objectives. And it says over here that we'd like her to edit. Let's see if I can find that one quickly. She proofread here to ensure accuracy of spelling and punctuation in her own and others' work. Okay. So I always find the children love it when I've made a mistake. So maybe when you're writing a shopping list, maybe if you don't forget to put a capital letter on or something, see if she can find that out for you. Reading. In reading this term, she's started to really consider the text that she's reading and move forward and reading more age-appropriate text, which I think will show in her writing. Yeah. She can use contextual clues to work out the unfamiliar words, because as they read more grown-up text, they're always going to meet words they don't necessarily know. Yeah. When we're asking her to talk about her opinions, what would help her is if she could skim back through the text and use quotations to back up her opinion. Okay. So again, we could highlight that here on the back, because this talks about our reading objectives at the back. Let's see if I can find that one. Draw on contextual evidence. Make sense of what is read. So actually you can see clearly those are the three things for Annabelle that would make the difference moving forward with her learning. Okay. We move on to science. She loves science. She's so keen to work practically, and I think it shows that she's got a really good understanding of science around her. Miss Bond has said the thing that she would help her is a greater grasp of scientific vocabulary. Right. So an understanding of, for example, if we're talking about electricity, that she uses words like complete circuits or the flow, and that she can explain her ideas using that scientific vocabulary. In history, she's shown great skill in researching evidence, and this has been one of the key facts in history this term. When presenting her work, though, she needs to think a little bit more about the audience. And that's just one element of our topic is being the history.
Right.
You'll notice as well we've looked at timelines, and we've looked also at comparing different sources using the internet. But that's one of the skills that she's made really great progress in history. Okay, so we come on to our attendance. We've talked about there's no late, no unauthorised, and not ill at all, which is fantastic. And I couldn't think of anything that would make her learning even better with that, and it's just excellent. She's working at 100%, and I think that indicates in all the progress green ticks that she's got.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what Annabelle's reading right now?
She's reading. Oh, I've forgotten.
Is it one of the ones off of our shelf?
Yes.
Is it
I
bet it's something to do with a horse.
Good night, Mr. Tom.
Oh, good night, Mr. Tom. Oh, of course, because we read that in class as well. How's she getting on?
So she loves it. She finds it quite hard, but she will sit and listen to it for hours if I will read it to her.
Fantastic.
But so we share read it, and she'll read through. But she refers to having already heard it in class. She'll refer to what's going to happen and things, but she's just enjoying hearing it again. But she's quite good about asking about the different words if she's not sure about what it means.
Excellent.
And I think because it's that one-to-one situation, she's confident enough to go, Mummy, what does that actually mean? Which is really nice. So,
does she ever record any in her reading record?
Sometimes, I sometimes write down the words that we've discussed in her reading record.
Because I love seeing those, some of the actual words that the children are being immersed in, because often that vocabulary is something that they can then draw in their own writing.
Yeah. And we were reading Black Beauty, and then she was so desperate to get onto Goodnight Mr. Tom, so we've had to leave it. But I think we will come back to that. She was enjoying it, but yeah.
So what I'll read next is you're going to complete Goodnight Mr. Tom.
Carry on with Black Beauty.
Oh, brilliant, excellent. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't think so. She seems, because in the past we've had trouble with her social skills and her friends, but she seems so much more settled this year.
Oh, fantastic.
And she enjoys coming to school, which is really nice, and quite bouncy and bubbly about school. So yeah, and I think that's probably having a good impact on the progress she's making. So,
definitely.
Yeah, she's really improving, which is nice.
Great, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Okay.